Yeah.
And for whatever reason, you have a closed mind. I don't know why. Perhaps you could tell me.
You are now listening to the Latino Free Mind podcast. Enjoy the show.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Latino Free Minds, episode 127. Danny, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good, good. Another day. We're a day late, but we're here.
Yeah, life happens.
Yeah, yeah. No, but everything's been good. Just busy at work, the usual. Here at home with the family, so couldn't ask for, couldn't ask for more. Blessed to be here another day.
Yeah, truly. There's a lot that happens every day, but if we focus on what's important, we talk about it all the time. Family, faith, and being there for our families, being the biggest influence that we can be. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's quite a few things that happened since we were last on. Well, you were on last week with Gio. Shout out to Gio for covering. I think he did 4 different shows last week or something like that. So shout out to him for
Yeah.
that.
Who said employee of the month?
Christian. Yeah, we're gonna get him his trophy later. But yeah, there's a couple things we did want to talk about. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Instagram. So make sure you guys hit like and all that good stuff. But
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
enjoy it while you can, because we're going to be talking about censorship. So
Yeah, yeah. So
much
that's
longer.
that's definitely one of the topics we're going to talk about. California censorship. Um, I believe there's a huge disconnect with Democrats in California. And specifically, we'll show a video of Katie Porter, who at this point looks like to be the top leading Democrat for their side on their ticket. And just kind of play what she says and how she feels about things, and there's a disconnect there. And then we'll talk a little bit about the Kirk Memorial, just a little bit at the end. But thank you for tuning in. But like Danny said, right? How long are we gonna be here? Well, at least on some of these platforms, right? I feel like we'll be okay on Rumble and Next, but I don't know about Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Um, so do you want to kind of explain to the people what we kind of uh, saw or heard about recently when it comes to California?
Yeah, it was a little disturbing because it was brought to my attention yesterday on a group chat that we have, and I didn't see it coming. And it's SB 771. So we did a little bit of research on that, and like I said, it came as a surprise because no one had really been talking about it. I saw people talking about it a lot more today. I don't know if it's the algorithm or whatever the case it might have been. Um, but let's give you guys a quick breakdown on that. Let me go back to it. So,
Yeah, that's SB 771. Yeah.
yep, SB 771 was introduced in the California Senate on February 21st, 2025. It was amended in the Senate on March 24, 2025. The Senate Judiciary Committee held a hearing on April 29, 2025. It passed the Senate on June 4th, 2025. Um, let's see. After Senate passage, it went to the Assembly, where further amendments debates occurred. The legislature officially passed both chambers in September 2025, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the 11th
Mm-hmm.
after, so 9/11 after Charlie Kirk's assassination. And there was a lot of speculation that they kind of snuck it through at that time, but it had already been in the works um, already. And that's why I was saying that it struck me as a surprise because we hadn't heard about it. And give you some more details on what it actually is. So the fines in SB 771 are aimed at the social media companies, not the individual content creators. Here's how it's structured. The bill creates liability when a covered platform's algorithm relays, promotes, facilitates, or contributes to conduct that violates California's civil laws, civil right laws. Example: discriminatory harassment, hate motivated violence. Civil penalties would be up to 1 million per knowing violation, up to 500,000 per reckless violation. Double penalties if minors are involved. Enforcement would be through the California Civil Rights Department or through civil actions, not directly against individual users. So let's see, a little note here. Users slash content creators aren't directly fined by this bill. It's about holding platforms, those earning over 100 million annually, accountable for their algorithms and recommendation systems, not the speech individuals. So the reason I read that part is because remember what we always talk about? It's the language that they use.
Mm-hmm.
So they're framing it as they're going after the companies, the social media companies. So
Mm-hmm.
they're telling you, don't worry about it. You know, the content creators, the people that are actually, you know, reporting on real news on what our eyes and ears are hearing out every day. And they're spinning it that, you know, they're going after and regulating the social media companies.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about what we were talking about, or do you want me to talk about the dangers of?
Go for it, and then I'll
Okay.
respond.
So right away, you know, it makes it seem like, okay, I'm gonna start worrying if they're gonna find the content creators because no one wants to be at risk. It's gonna make everybody hesitant. Actually, it's getting rid of social media and the space where people are reporting on news. That's the way that I see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people are gonna be hesitant because they don't want to get fined. But then the way that they word it, it's like, oh, don't worry about it, content creator. It's gonna be aimed towards the social media companies. And my first reaction goes, okay, so you're targeting the social media companies, but then the social media companies are going to censor the content on their
Mm-hmm.
platform because they're not going to want to be fined or violate, you know, these fines, right, and be sued. Um, so therefore, it directly censors us, the content creators, the people that are reporting the real news that we're experiencing in our everyday lives.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and that's how I see it too. You know, after so many fines, how many fines is each platform going to put up with before they start going, okay, well, apparently we can't talk about that. And what I was telling you earlier, it's like, well, who decides what, you know, what you can't talk about? You know, is it what's trending in that, you know, in that week, that day? Like, there's no clear definitions of things. What is hateful content? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Hateful to who? Um, and I think you said something. Did you say something about violence? Like, if the the platform could get fined $1 million if there's violence as a result of something being posted.
Per knowing violation. So
Mm,
if they have knowledge of the violation.
okay.
So if they knowingly allowed it to be on their platform, in other words.
Oh yeah, so there definitely would have to put like way more stricter algorithms, or balances, checks for certain words, certain phrases.
Mhm.
Just who knows, right? Who knows how far they can take it? But the thing to me is right now, Newsom has an ad attacking Trump for free speech. And I believe SB 711 is waiting for his signature. I think that was like where it's at right now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so what I the hypocrisy of it is, he has an ad where he's attacking this administration, the current administration, for um, censorship.
Yeah.
And I have it here. I'll play it. It's a ad on free speech, supposedly, and also an ad for Prop 50. So, he's been out there defending Jimmy Kimmel. I think
Mhm,
he was on Colbert the other day
mhm.
with some nice words to his president.
And his new favorite, 3 words or 4 or whatever, "son of a bitch," SOB.
Yeah. So, I'll play the ad, and then you can kind of see, like, if Newsom, what's in this ad, if he's serious about it, he should come out right away and say this SB 771 is trash. Like, get this out of here. But we'll see what he does. But this is what he's running right now as an ad.
I banned all government censorship and restored free speech in America. We have free speech.
Around the country, efforts to ban specific books or even whole categories of books are on the rise.
CBS is canceling The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
ABC has indefinitely suspended Jimmy Kimmel Live.
We're going to preempt this program. We're going to black it out. Again, that's what you're supposed to do. And frankly, I think that's a good thing.
We will absolutely target you, go after you.
Should probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate. Maybe they'll have to go after you.
So there you go. It's like he's got SB 771 on his desk that attacks free speech on creators indirectly through the platforms, and he has that ad out. Like, you know what I mean? And then it makes you wonder. It's like, okay, he's on his last term. He's gonna be out of here. This
Yeah,
thing
but
goes into law.
it's not that easy because I was thinking about that.
Mhm.
It's gonna run for president, right?
Yeah,
Supposedly, that's what everybody's talking about.
that's what we're
The
talking about.
real danger is that we had the No Kings protest that they were supporting, right?
They have
It's like,
another one, I think, next month.
yeah, I saw that. And what is this doing? It's like gaslighting at its best right here.
Yeah, and then you'd have to think about, like, future candidates. You know, some candidates are gonna say some harsh truths. It's like, are they gonna get censored? Are they not gonna have the ability to run their campaign as a Democrat would, because a Democrat, toes the party line? You know what I mean? Like, how is it gonna affect all these? It's at a point it could be election interference.
Yeah, 100%. And to add a little bit more on SB 771 is it's going to, supposedly it's protecting protected classes. So I'm going to do a quick search and see what the protected classes are.
Yeah. What did Christian say? He said LGBT Tylenol. Oh man, even that's crazy. But I think he has till October 12th to sign it. We'll see what he does. Um, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it would be horrible timing. I mean, you said it. The hypocrisy is it's just ridiculous. But okay, here we go. According to the text of SB 771 and its legislative findings, the protected classes include at least race, religion, sex, gender, sexual orientation. Dude, you can't talk about anybody.
No, you can't.
Immigration status, disability, color, ancestry, national origin, medical condition, genetic information, citizenship, primary language, marital status. So technically, everything is hate speech.
Technically,
Everything that you talk about is hate speech.
yeah,
Now it's only up to the people that determine, who violates it, and that's it.
yeah,
And we know who they're going to assign to this.
yeah, yeah. Or they might assign a independent board, and then a couple years later,
Independent,
a couple years
independent.
later, completely disregard it and just do whatever the hell they want to do,
Yeah,
like the
no,
like the redistricting commission.
yeah. Then they're
It's
going to circumvent it to
yeah,
their advantage. Yeah,
yeah, and and that's the thing too. Just real quick on Prop 50, it's like we don't trust it because nothing in this that they do is temporary. It never is. You know, Prop 50 is being sold as they have to fight it right now while Texas does it, and 2030 when the census is done or whatever, then the independent commission does it again. But you know, we don't trust these people here to keep it temporary. It never is.
yeah. Well, it's the damage that it's going to do right now too. So that's the other thing. Even if it is temporary, it's going to
Oh
do
yeah,
damage that it's meant to do right
yeah,
now, present time.
yeah. I saw something yesterday that I think Fresno County is. I'll double check it right now in a little bit when you talk. But Fresno County, I think, is split into 6 different districts, something like that. That
Why split?
sounds crazy.
I mean, Fresno is huge, but I don't know anything about that. But you just say 6 districts, and that seems like a lot of districts, a lot of representation there.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll look it up right now. But I heard that and I was just like, damn, that's insane. Just to get and keep. I mean, you already have the power here in California. I mean, it's insane.
well, it makes sense because if they can't gain it somewhere else, they're gonna go dig into the same well, right?
Yeah.
They're just gonna rewrite the rules yet again and to their favor while they
Hmm.
can. And people
Yeah.
just need to stop falling for the same damn thing. Um, I was working on this video um, when Gio was on last week. We were joking around why Gavin Newsom didn't do a live state of the state,
Hmm.
and we were kind of going over all the failures and everything. But if you think about it, Gavin is number one, or California is number one. They're number one in failure in education system, number one in homelessness. So maybe that's what the real goal is. And behind the doors, they're celebrating and high fiving because they are number one. And I was gonna do kind of like a satire type of video,
Yeah, you should. It'll
giving
still
them
hit.
giving them props on being number one. Hell yeah, Gavin,
Yeah. So
punch
yeah.
those son of a bitches in the mouth.
Yeah. So proposal to redraw districts via Prop 50 on November 4th, 2025 ballot would split Fresno County into 6 districts: 5, 13, 18, 20, 21, and 22.
Yeah.
That's to yeah to just for power, not for representation, just for power. That's it. They sell it as they're trying to represent you.
Mhm.
You know, they'll use their
He
keyword
said
democracy.
returning the power to the people.
Yeah, which is a lie. They're actually taking your power away.
100%.
So you know, but that's Prop 50. We gotta definitely fight against that. Um, but yeah, I think SB 771, given the ad that Newsom has out, what he's been tweeting since this whole Kimmel thing happened, there's no way he can sign that and say, you know what I mean? Like
It's
everything.
horrible
Yeah,
timing. It's horrible timing, right?
yeah. And I'll say this, and even in general, I think Pam Bondi too, like recently, like said something about
Hate speech.
hate speech, and it's like again, nobody knows really what that is. You know, there's there's speech that's just ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
And we're adults. We can discern what. All right, I don't want to listen to this. I do want to listen to this. This guy's an idiot. This guy's not, like, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
that. You don't need censorship. You just need you yourself to be like, I don't want to listen to this guy. That's as easy as it works. We don't need the government involved in what we say, locally or federally.
No, remember what I always say is that capitalism will take care of that. Like
Yeah.
the truth of the matter is that Jimmy Kimmel and all the late night shows. I used to watch a little bit of Johnny Carson because I'm not that old. Um, but Jay Leno, I watched a bunch of Jay Leno's um, show, and after Jay Leno left, I think it was all the other new generation that came in.
Hmm.
And I haven't watched a full episode of any, and I with 100% honesty, I haven't watched any of their shows, a full show. I've just been exposed to who they are, just on commercials, TV,
Or clips people post when they
and
say
it's
something dumb.
usually, yeah, exactly. They're clips of making fun of them, and they're not funny at all. So capitalism was taking care of Jimmy Kimmel and all the others because their ratings suck, and a lot of people don't know that he was going to go into negotiations to renew his contract, and he wasn't going to get it. So that's why they made a big deal about this, to mask, a decision that the network was going to make to get rid of him. Anyways, they're not funny. They suck. Capitalism is taking care of that.
Hmm.
Um, just like the ratings for football, basketball, and a bunch of other stuff has gone down. It's taking care of that. It's fine. We're, like you said, we're adults. We're grown ups. We can deal with harsh words directed towards us or other people. It's fine.
Hmm.
We're not that sensitive. We're not meant to be that sensitive where we want to shut everybody up. And going to the point that you were making, it's the timing, right? So look, um, the unfortunate death of Charlie Kirk just happened, man. It just literally happened, and it was the biggest voice. They can try to lie. They continue. I saw a clip of a black young man that he never looked into Charlie Kirk. He never saw a video, but he had been hearing how big of a racist he was and stuff like that. And he posted. He started looking for those racist clips. The dude
Uh,
cannot find a racist clip,
I think I saw that guy.
and I think that was pretty awesome. But talk about timing. Charlie Kirk was murdered because of what he was saying. They censored him. They shut him up. They killed him because of the First Amendment, because of what he was talking about.
Hmm.
And here we have, the SOB that's talking about, um, you know, no kings, and talking about,
No elections in 2028, scaring
Yeah,
people.
Trump, it's not going to have he's scared that there's not going to be any presidential elections in 2028, but sincerely he does believe that. And of course we believe him, right? And he has this on his desk, waiting for his signature. What are you going to do, Gavin?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you run for president, you're going to give us more ammo. This is one of those things where it's like, remember what we say is show us who you are. Stand up and show us.
Mm-hmm.
Just take the freaking mask off.
Yeah.
Sign that damn thing and show people.
Yeah. If he just should stick to his normal procedures, and he's gonna sign it, right? Unless he's got bigger dreams. And maybe if there's no election in 2028 for him, maybe it's because everybody knew he sucked and he didn't make the ballot. So maybe he kind of knows that too.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if it has to do anything where, we try to recall his ass 2 times already. And
yeah.
I'd
No,
like to see the history of how many governors, had that many attempts to get recalled.
yeah. But hey, we'll see what he does. But that did get to his desk, and it's just a green light for platforms to censor us so that they don't get fined. So we'll see how that all plays out. We got a big election year coming up. If he does sign that, I think it would go. Well, actually, I saw it would go into effect 2027, January 1st, 2027.
Was it? I thought it was 26.
Let me double check. I think I saw 27.
Let me
When
check.
would SB 771 go into law if signed? So we'll see if it's next year. Oh yeah, it is 2026.
Yeah.
Hold on. Would go into law in January 1st, 2026 as a standard non-urgency bill passed before September 1st. However, its operative provisions imposing civil liability on social media platforms, would take effect on January 1st, 2027. It gives them a year to get it together. So, and it's what do you call it? I lost my train of thought here, but it's an important year, right? It's an election year here in California. So if you're going to be censoring people during an election year, that's it doesn't matter who you're going for. You'd be going for Bianco, Hilton, Mercury, Zaki, Serpa, Porter. It does. Oh well, Porter's probably safe, and we'll talk about her right now. But you could be talking any of those guys could be talking about what they're running on, and hey, some person out there who's designated the hate speech police be like, I don't like what he said.
Mm-hmm.
So it's we'll see what happens. We can hope that he vetoes it, but do we have the faith in him for that? No. Yeah. So, Katie Porter, so she's the I would say right now, I think she's the leading the polls on the Democrat side. And she did have a clip that I saw, and I thought it kind of, in a sense, perfectly demonstrates exactly how the Democrats like their thought process, their idea of California and how it functions. So I'll play this video and you'll kind of hear it herself, right, from her.
Redistricting. What do you think of the governor's plan?
I support the governor's plan.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win?
Hold on. Did you see her face? Watch.
Arrogance.
Redistricting. What do you think of the governor's plan?
I support the governor's plan.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're thinking.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
Katie.
So, it's just, what do you think of that? I thought it was like ridiculous, but
it reminds me of Hillary Clinton type of arrogance.
Mm-hmm. You know what it also reminded me of? Now that you said that, it reminded me of Kamala. Because remember when Kamala went on The View and they asked her, what would you do different about Biden, the Biden's presidency? And she basically said she wouldn't do anything different. And people felt that really hurt her campaign. It's like the first question's like, what do you think about the governor's proposal? He's like, I support the governor. It's like, you're just you're the same thing. You're just,
it's a carbon copy of
echo
of what we had.
Yeah. So I thought that was crazy. Like, just the arrogance. It's like, where they get to the point that, in her mind, the way she was speaking, the way she reacted when she was asked about the 40%, her facial expression was like, why should I care about those people?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, damn, lady, we still live in California. You guys still affect our day to day. Like, technically, you represent everybody, even those 40%. And to me, it's like, even if you think you're that arrogant and you think you're gonna win like that, like, I don't know. What do you think? I think you play it off. Maybe it's just you don't have to really, in their eyes, win anybody over.
You know what I'm gonna say is I love it because it just shows who they really are. I rather have her react instead of be a good politician and pretend to cater to that group too, to kind of be in the middle and stuff like that. So I'm okay with her, showing where she stands, with her body language, facial expressions, and with what she said. She came off as genuinely dismissive of the other 40%, which I appreciate. Thank you for showing everybody that and standing up, and telling us who you are. But here's something interesting. I sent you something from 209 Times, a post that says Stanislaus County flipped red. Registered voters, Republicans, 108,861. And I mean, it's not by like a huge margin, but this is huge.
Yeah.
That they overtook them. And so Republicans, 108,861, Dems, 108,281. So the Republicans, registered voter Republicans, plus 572. And that's with shenanigans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, man, we can be pessimistic about everything, but things are happening. I mean, you think about it, Stanislaus County has been, blue Democratic for decades, and for this to happen, this is really good news. People are waking up. Katie Porter, thank you for waking up people. Newsom, keep talking smack and waking up people.
Yeah. I mean, that's they already are, right? They've have for, if you're paying at least a little bit of attention, you've definitely seen the hypocrisy. And here here, specific here to California, where we live, where these damn legislatures and this governor really affect our lives here living in this state, right? Um, so and that's the thing I was saying. It's like with her laughing, like, oh, I don't need them. Um, and that's because a lot of people just vote on party lines, you know, or they've been conditioned, they've been manipulated to think that, oh, I got to vote for the Democrat. The Democrats for the people. You know, it's like they know it, right? And they go, oh yeah, I don't need those. I don't need those 40%. I already know 6% is going to vote for me. We say it all the time in the comments, right? Vote blue no matter who.
Yeah,
That,
it's
that was
true.
that was a governor candidate, like in a sense, saying that, yeah, that's vote blue no matter who is that's gonna get me there.
Yeah, you got that D next to my name.
Yeah.
So, what were you saying? That's elitism. Thinking that
Yeah.
um, that's all they need. They're over us. They don't need us.
Hmm.
We're insignificant. We don't matter. Um, but I've got a feeling in my bones is that I think people are going to stand up and we're going to show them that we are the majority. I think we're already starting to do that. So
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely a shift, and I think that's my opinion, right? With the whole redistricting thing, they can try to paint it as it being fighting against Texas thing, but the way that I saw it was that map from 2024, the California map was looking a little red, and
a lot red.
yeah, and I don't think they want that red to potentially expand. So that's why they're cutting up all these counties into different districts just to get a little bit of those larger blue counties mixed into here, like a smaller or a red county, just to it's about power, dude. I think they see that coming, and they're doing what they can to affect it as much as possible.
Yeah, they want to get their color crayons and start redrawing everything.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But I just think that people should kind of notice that. And we always say, whoever it is you support, support them based on what solutions are they offering, right? If they've been in government for a while, what have they done in that time? I think with I want to say with Trump, we learned that, all right, you don't have to necessarily be a lifelong politician to have some good ideas and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I mean, if there's people that haven't been lifelong politicians running for governor here in California, it's like, well, okay, well, what are your ideas? How do you plan on accomplishing that? uh, or how long have you been in office? And whatever office you've been, what have you done in that time? I think people should make that the focus. It's like, what have you done, and what are you planning to do? Since not just whatever Katie Porter was doing. That's just basically, I'm a Democrat, and that's my accomplishment.
Yeah, I think we get some of the comments too, where we put out a lot of videos and they don't have the attention span to
Oh
listen to
no.
the entire video and get we do a lot of research on those, and we put out the facts based on the research. And it's kind of like Texas is their court order to do the redistricting, and they're following their legislative process. That goes over people's heads. What people don't understand is that here in California, we're not following the Constitution of California, and we already voted for an
Hmm.
independent commission made up of citizens to redistrict. And what you all need to understand is Gavin Newsom is circumventing that system. So if you don't have the attention span to sit through a video that explains it and you don't have the want to actually research it for yourself,
Yeah,
then go
yeah.
vote
If you're
blue and do what you're gonna do.
yeah, if your mind's already made up on whatever it is you believe, then you know, then
And
yeah, un ignore us, I guess.
yeah, I
You know,
mean, it is what it is. So
you've even made like because then people attack us for, oh, you guys are just Republicans and this and that. It's like, Joe, we've made videos about there's a uniparty, but like you said, if people don't have the attention span for it, then
yeah, we did a
who
video
cares?
on
Yeah.
that, and you know, if you break it down, this is how I woke up: is that I looked at my values, and then I started going, wait a minute, they're not aligning with the Democratic, mission or what they're supposed to stand for. I go, yeah, all of my family is actually Republicans. What am I doing here? So, fell for the manipulation. But here's the thing is that we've been under uniparty rule. We get that.
Mm-hmm.
Just because that's happened, it doesn't mean that we're not going to support, real Republicans, not rhinos that represent, our values and what we believe.
Yeah.
So you can be a follower and again vote blue for no matter who, and it's okay, it's your prerogative. So
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to do what we do. We're just talking here.
but what else do you have? I see that you guys met Hilton.
Oh yeah, we did. We did. We met Hilton yesterday. He was out here in Fresno County. Um he was doing his what was it? An injunction
Hmm.
to try to stop Prop 50. So he was out there, he did a little presser. So we went out there, we met him, Gio and myself. Um it's one of those things where it's like there's a lot of candidates for governor in this state, and we're doing our due diligence and trying to hear everybody out. Obviously we haven't had him on the podcast like we had Mercury, Zaki, Serpa, all good guys, man. Like, mm, I like them all.
Yeah,
So we gotta really discern who exactly it is that, you know, is gonna be that fighter, like you said, that's gonna represent the people, right? And I think they all have qualities that could, some guys are stronger on one aspect than others, but and I think they're all good candidates, especially from talking to them. Um, so we talked to Hilton. It was about Prop 50. We did a little video with him. Um, and it's one of those things, right? Even with all the other candidates, it's like, well, we all know Prop 50 isn't the best thing for California, and it's what's coming up right now. It's a pressing issue. Um, and I don't think we should ignore it if we're living here, and we're gonna live here. I think if we see something that we feel is wrong, we have to speak out against it. And he was out there speaking out against Prop 50, and we're against Prop 50. So it was a good opportunity to meet him, and we did, and hopefully we can work something out to get him on the podcast and hear his ideas, his campaign, his thoughts on how he can turn the state around. Gio did kind of ask him, in that clip that we posted, you know, how he's gonna fight for the state. So
mhm,
if you haven't seen it, it's up on Instagram. It's like 5 minutes long. Check it out. We're not telling you to go vote for the guy or endorse him. We're not endorsing anyone. We just think it's a great idea to listen to all the candidates that want to run for governor.
yeah,
That's it. So yeah, so it was cool. It was cool.
nice. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was good. Jill did a good job.
Yeah, he did good. I did get nervous for him at the end of the video. I don't know if you noticed. He put his bad his bad hand out to shake it, to shake Steven's hand, and I saw when he did that, and like for a second I got nervous for him because I knew that was his bad hand.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and then after he's like, dude, he's like, he's like, I put my bad hand out to shake his hand. I was like, did he like, did he have like a fucking like hard grip or something? And he's like, no, it was fine. I was like, all right. I told him, yeah, I saw you did that, and I was like, oh shit.
Wow. Lucky it wasn't Trump. He would have ripped his arm off.
Oh yeah, no, Gio would have been back in the hospital.
Yeah.
Jokes, people. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, we'll see, right? We'll see what happens here in this state. Um, did you happen to watch any of the Kirk Memorial thing?
Parts and bits and
Okay.
pieces. Yeah.
So what? I mean, not to talk too much uh about it and all that. But like overall, did you kind of get like a sentiment, or like would you think about it?
Yeah. Overall, it's kind of like what a lot of people have been feeling is like there's a sense of good versus evil. Um, but I think overall, if I had to say, it was like a real celebration about the type of person that Charlie was. Like I said before, I didn't listen or watch a lot of his clips. I just saw, clips here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you watch one, you get a sense of the type of person that he was. And there was, mixed. I think a lot was faith based. Like a lot of thoughts of emotions were, spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
specifically Christian faith, and his wife's Erika's forgiveness. Was kind of a surprise. It kind of hit you, dead center in the chest, and it's like that's huge. That's big. You hear about people forgiving people that do harm to their loved ones. And I always put myself in those shoes and I go, man, that would be really difficult and tough for me to do. I think it would take me a long time to get to that point, but it just shows you where they were with their heart in their faith. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it sets a really good example in my opinion. Um, so,
Yeah.
but
No,
what did you think?
no, I agree with what you said. That's kind of what I felt too. It was something, to see all those people there supporting, and remembering the life of Charlie Kirk. I thought it was a real nice event. You know, um, I think though at one point, and I don't know if it was, I don't remember if it was Erica or one of the other speakers, where they kind of, did point out the contrast, right, of what was happening there versus, when we had all those riots in 2020, right, when George Floyd died. How buildings were burned. Just
I saw a clip of that. They had like
anarchy and chaos.
they had a
Oh, the
split
side by
screen,
side. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and they showed you know the memorials and things like that, and the chaos that ensued when, I mean, there's no other way to say it, but these, I don't know, progressive leftist liberals or whatever, the way that they
They
uh,
handle it.
react to tragic things, sad things, hard things to deal with is
Mhm.
very different. And man, I hate to make this contrast, man, and point this out, but I'm gonna do it because it's out there, it's obvious. So take that side by side, the reaction from either side, and what Elon Musk said. I thought it was really good. Did you see that clip where they were asking him if he had met Charlie Kirk? And
I think I saw one of him when he was there at the memorial.
yeah, and
Okay.
then they asked him why was Charlie Kirk murdered,
Hmm.
and he says that Charlie Kirk was bringing people to the light or bringing the light to the people, one or the other. And he
Yeah,
said
yeah.
in the dark um, killed him.
Hmm.
You know
Yeah.
that look at the reactions.
Hmm.
Is one. goes to Jesus Christ and celebrates a person's life and prays,
Mm-hmm.
um, and forgives, and then the other one burns shit down. Not all of them,
A lot of them, but I mean, that's you know, not
but
all of them, but it also is. That's what you have the comparison, right? And
you know what?
that's uh
When I say all of them, but you know what's missing? I don't see videos of them condemning it either. I'm sure they do.
mhm.
Some condemn it in their heart and in their mind, but I just don't see them coming out. And I don't. Maybe is our algorithm off where we're not seeing all of these people on that side coming out and condemning these actions? I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't.
I mean, I with the whole Kirk thing, I did see videos of like people that saying they were ex Democrats, but not no more, based
Mhm.
on them seeing other people like kind of celebrating and you know the way they were responding to what happened. Um, but it was a good you know event. It looked, I think it was well done. To honor him. I mean, he was killed. He was assassinated just for speaking. He wasn't a politician. He did have, he was, if you want to call it influencing, he was influencing the next generation. Um, and it was towards the light, not the dark. So that's a huge factor, and it all ties into like the whole censorship thing, hate speech, and all the yada yada.
Well,
You
they
know,
called him, they said that he was hateful, and it's kind of
yeah, yeah.
the example that I gave you is like they go out and look for the hateful
You
um,
can't find it.
rhetoric that he had and can't find it. They have
Hmm.
that one instance where, or a couple where they put it out of context, and it's like, come on, man, stop. We're past that gaslighting.
Hmm. Yeah.
We're not
So
gonna fall for it.
yeah, no, it was. I liked how everybody was there. It felt like a it did feel like a long church service kind of thing, but it was nice. Um one of the parts I liked was when I think when they were singing, and you know the whole crowd kind of sang a cappella, like with no music. I thought that was nice. That was a nice moment. um but yeah, man. We're here. We continue to speak truth, talk about what we see. Like we said, not everybody's going to agree with us or like what we say, or maybe we're not saying it the right way, or maybe we're not hard enough, maybe we're too whatever, dude. Like, we're not going to make everybody happy, and I don't think we're supposed to. I think you're supposed to, you know hear different things, and then you yourself kind of, get the information, take it, and and you know decide what it is, the way you want to go. We're not. That's the great thing about America. It's like, yeah, we're not all always going to agree on everything, but
Yeah, I
we
think.
have that freedom.
Yeah, even Jimmy Kimmel, I saw a stupid little clip of his show yesterday where he had to admit that at least some of the people on the right
Yeah, I saw
were
it.
advocating for his First Amendment rights. He could say whatever he wants and not get his show canceled because of it.
Yeah,
Everybody's acting like the this administration is the one that canceled it. It's like you know he- there's other people that made that decision. It was his boss that actually made that decision. So
yeah,
I
and
don't.
just technically just suspended him, so he'll be back. Um, he was back. He was back. Like, I know. I think what's his name? I forget his name. Carr was the one that said something to ABC, and then ABC supposedly took him out because of that. But I think there was something about a deal going on, um, from ABC, or I forget the other, Next Star or whatever. And I'm pretty sure Kimmel's not making them any money.
No, he's costing them money. Look, he's a propaganda arm of the left. That
Yeah,
let's just
he
be
is.
real.
He
You
is.
know, the montages where the news anchors say literally word for word, um, what they're supposed to say,
Hmm.
and he's that side of it, but the comedic part of it. I mean, he's not funny, but he's he's the one that does it for that part of the arm, and he knows it.
Yeah, he knows
Everybody
it.
knows it.
I mean, it, yeah, he's he can say whatever he wants to say. Um, like we said earlier, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Eventually, enough people won't watch it, and he'll get fired again because
Yeah.
he's not funny. He just isn't. Um, he's not informative either because all he's doing is you know propaganda, leftist propaganda. Telling people to jab up, get your booster. Probably like you know. I don't know, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I'm making a video about that too. Everything that's happening with um, the jab and vaccines and stuff like that. So there's some interesting stuff going on with that. Remember what we were talking about? What we were most excited about with Trump's administration coming up? Um, and I was like, whatever RFK is going to be doing, RFK Jr.
mhm.
Um, and some things are happening now, finally. So, Florida came out with some big news. The Surgeon General came out with some big news where they're not going to make vaccines mandatory. They're going to be optional. If the parents want it, returning the rights to the parents. Freaking, what's wrong with Florida that doesn't want to take the parents' rights away from?
Well, and this could be for a whole nother episode too. California, Washington, and Oregon doing their little version of the CDC.
Oh yeah, that's a done deal, man. So,
So we'll see what happens there because they trust real science.
oh yeah, yeah.
They
Look it
they,
up,
they trust the science where they have their you know their,
Fauci's of
where
the world. You want a
they
Fauci making decisions on your health? Go ahead. I'll
they
pass.
have they have their useful idiots popping Tylenols right now just because it's the
Trump,
Trump
just
admin that
because
said
it's
it.
Trump. Yeah,
I swear that fool should say air is good for you.
yeah.
Let's just that's so bad.
Look it up. AB 144. Look into it. I'm gonna make a video about that.
For sure.
But yeah, it's crazy stuff. It's no longer a conspiracy that they want to take parental rights away from you.
Oh no, here in California, that's for sure.
That's a fact.
So even 495, right? Talking about things that are on Newsom's desk, AB 495. So we'll see what he does. He might just do the. I wouldn't put it past him to veto it just to look like he cared. For a presidential run, but his actions have already shown he doesn't care at all. We live here. We know what's up. Um, Other than that, dude, that's all I got. Um,
What do
you
we
got anything
got?
else?
I saw that you sent a message on who's going to be on the podcast next.
Oh, on the 8th, we're gonna have Shiloh Marks. That's the guy that he's been doing a lot of the information and voter initiative type of stuff here in California.
Okay.
So he's the one that when we did an episode like a few weeks ago, I showed you some of the numbers he was posting about certain counties having a certain amount of inactive voters.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Victory was by that almost identical margin. So we're gonna have that guy on, and he'll give us some information on how that's going on, and you know we'll see how those numbers. I think that's why you had mentioned Stanislaus County. I think they are getting,
They're cleaning up the rolls. Is
yeah,
what you're telling me.
yeah. It sounds like it. So we'll see. Hopefully, they do a lot of cleaning by November 4th, and we can get rid of Prop 50 and then focus on who's going to run this state after 2026.
Yep. All right. Nice.
So, with that said, I'll play this little video because I thought it was a good, a nice part of the memorial. And peace be with you.
Peace be with you.
I know it's not much, but nothing else. Sing it one more time. So I'll throw up my head, praise you again and again. All that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know it's not.
Peace.